This is Coach Mo, and I've got my, hang on. I've got my essential oils too far away. This one is 100% pure happiness. Okay, I'm buying it. Oh, well, I already bought it. I'm just saying I'm jiving with getting a bottle of happiness, because at this point in humanity, we might need a little bottle of happiness going on. And please let me know that you're here. I'd love to know who's here with me. And a few announcements before we get going. First of all, this is Kickass Career Coach Mo. I'm here with you for Motivational Monday, every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Hello, Anne Marie. Nice to see you. I'm here every Monday. Why? Because I want to help you start your week off with a bang, with some motivation, with some inspiration. And here's the thing. I can't change your life in a Motivational Monday, but I can sure help point you to why it's necessary for you to change your life. This week, I'm covering the pandemic, Monday through Saturday. So this is a weekly series, Your Life and Your Career in the Pandemic. This is Coach Mo. You can find me everywhere in social media at Coach Mo Fall or mofall.com. Make it super easy. And we've got Jean here, and Kathy, and Kelly, and Kimberly. We got all the K's here. Absolutely. It's a K day. I'm going to talk about a variety of things today. So if you're used to like listening to me out for a walk or maybe driving, you may want to write some of this stuff down. So today's Monday, Motivational Monday. Hello, Miranda. And I think I said hello to my K's there. You may want to write some of this stuff down. All week, 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, we're getting up early, doing our morning routine bright and early so we can be fresh and ready to rock and roll. 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Every morning for the rest of this week, we're going to be rocking and rolling the pandemic. I'm going to do a lot of calling you out for stuff that's going on, and you're going to know it's coming with a big dose of love. I believe that when you learn how to raise your soul up to its strength and power, you're going to live a much better life and have a much better career. I'm going to talk a little bit about Mother's Day yesterday and what our family did and what I was hearing around the table. It has a lot to do with what I want to talk about today. And I'm also going to lay out a particular person's career, and I'm going to ask you to judge it and see what you think. So what do we go for first? Let's talk about the pandemic. Let's talk about what's really going on. And if you tuned in, maybe it was a month ago, I basically laid out this scenario, and I mean it now more than ever. Having been in this almost 2 months now, I literally came back from a conference in California on March 8th. And from that point on, shelter in place, boom. Here's what I know to be true. I have prepared myself spiritually, mentally, financially, business-wise, to be able to handle anything that came down the pike. Look, I never imagined this, but I have been preparing and paving ye the way for no matter what. When you live with an internal strength and a reference point, the external world doesn't have the power. Your divinity, your soul has the power. Isn't that where you want it to be? Let's talk about how so many human beings, maybe all, there might be a few exceptions, 100% of the 7 billion people on this planet, at last count, last time I finished counting, are all in this together. Never in human history has the entire planet been together on a topic. Never have we cooperated with so much spirit of love and connection. Never have we been socially as disconnected as we are at a time when we are technologically so connected. It's a really rare and unique time on this planet, but I do believe that there are going to be many more times when the human connection and the human spirit is going to come in a way that is fascinating, exhilarating, and life-changing. All of our lives have been upended. I don't need to tell you that because your life has been upended. And the leaders of this world have been thrown a challenge, a puzzle that they have never seen before. I live with the CEO, and she has been day and night managing what she needs to manage to have her company live to see the day on the other side of this. There are some CEOs who could not, because of the shape that their company was in or the shape of the economy of that sector before, that can't withstand what has been thrown their way. Really not their fault. Whoever would have imagined 2 months or more of the economy being contracted in this way? No one. Yeah, people could have predicted a pandemic would come again, and that as humans begin to unearth things and kind of go where they haven't gone before. There's all sorts of theories on how this virus got out of control. I don't need to be an epidemiologist today. But let's just suffice it to say that we're going to continue to see challenges as human beings that we've never seen the likes of. And you know, all human history is a series of things that human beings had never seen before. It's the human experience, and we've never seen this. So all leaders, CEOs in particular, who are trying to guide their ship through this uncharted, unknown territory. And let me tell you, I don't know what's going to come after this, but I have a few absolutely 100% certain ideas of what is necessary to navigate whatever will happen. We don't know exactly when the economy is going to come back. We don't know what the new restaurant, public venue, sports arena, we don't know what that's going to look like going forward. We don't know. There's so much that we don't know right now that the human psyche is flipped upside down and all around, and you are looking for the one thing that helps human beings survive, and that is certainty. Where is it? Where is certainty right now? It's hard to find right now. So what we see is happening is that your life's layers that were probably like this for the decades that you've been living, all the layers of your life have been intertwined and living with each other in a dynamic layers, have now begun to settle out. Your relationships, family, friends, activities, leisure, sport, physical fitness, the things you eat, the places you go. No one's traveling, so no one's been running around trying to catch their planes. No one's been scurrying about, and think of all the money that you may have been saving by not traveling. I think there's 5 trips that I haven't taken and that I won't take going through the summer because of this. I haven't not traveled this much in over 25 years. I know, I move around a lot. In over 25 years, I've never been at home consistently, week in and week out, for greater than 2 months, much less we're going to have certainly 3 months and probably even 4. I see the world. I go places. I do things. This is who I've been. It was part of the routine as a high-level executive, traveling to client sites, going out and seeing my VPs, doing stuff like that. It was part of normal activity. And even working from home in this world of being a coach, I go out to client sites, I go to conferences, I go on trips of pleasure and enjoyment. I've never been home this long, and it's done something, hasn't it? All of our layers of life have begun to settle out so that we can see them distinctly. They're no longer jumbled in. And I know for sure that the two biggest layers that you have taken a look at, that you've been examining, that you've been mulling about. I have a crystal ball on my desk to remind me just of the fact that we would like to have the predictive value of a crystal ball. But when we look through the layers of our lives, there's always a prism that reflects it in a different way. And now, let me put that back. I'm going to keep it up here. Now, as we look at the different layers of our lives, the prism is just a little bit different. We're at home. We're not evaluating our career perhaps as much on the commute and the people at work and the place, because we don't have that. We're now looking at it in a more raw, real way. Am I happy there? Am I making a contribution that matches what I bring to the table? Am I getting paid enough? Am I being appreciated, or am I being marginalized? And now I'm really starting to feel it. Now that I'm working from home, I can't insert myself and go walk down the hall to someone's office. This is feeling a little dicey. And I know the second thing that you're taking a look at is your family and the value and what that feels like, and perhaps maybe some regrets or some ideas of what you want going forward and how important that is to you. And maybe you left that as like a 10th placeholder, and now you want to bring it back where you've been able to have it. Either because you're now looking at your own mortality, or that you haven't seen them, or that maybe you've been hanging out with them more and you're really liking it. So whatever has reconstituted and started to show itself in these layers are now more transparent, aren't they? All the layers of your life now can be viewed a lot easier because you're not running around like a too busy of a person and missing the point. You've been stationary, you've been stable, you've been with yourself, and you've been with the people you live with. It has created clarity. It has created perhaps some turmoil. Perhaps you begin to see things that you really were happy to ignore and be in denial about. But I know one thing for sure. There's two ways that handling this pandemic will not work. Number one, with an abundance of fear, it won't work. And number two, in denial, it will not work. You cannot come through this successfully, satisfied, or fulfilled if you're coming through it in a fear mentality or in denial. And you've probably been in one or both of those for too long anyway. There's probably aspects of your life that you've been in denial about. And now you can no longer be in denial. And there may be aspects that you were too afraid or too panicked to take care of. And now you got to look at them. Maybe you were running around trying to please everyone at work and do a great job and do all the projects and take on this and take on that. It didn't get you anywhere. And now that you're working from home, you're going, what was I doing? It got me nowhere. And now where I am. Or perhaps you've been furloughed or laid off, or some of the women we've spoken to have actually gotten fired. Here's the thing I know for sure. Every boss is also looking at their team. Every CEO is looking at their team. Every senior VP looking at their team. Every VP looking at their team. Every director looking at their team. Every manager looking at their team, etc. Everyone is taking a look at what's working and not working. We are crystallizing the things that we must pay attention to that are no longer going to escape what we're all about. They're no longer going to escape them. So if you've been furloughed, perhaps your industry may or may not come back. You're going to have to think about where your future is, aren't you? You're going to have to really take stock whether you can pivot, whether you want to pivot, and what's next for you. If you're an industry that is going gangbusters and crazy, 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 but you're still performing like down here, it feels like, it's time now to step up and to claim your success and your fulfillment and your future. It's time to do that. You know, so many women I talk to haven't changed jobs or haven't made the changes they want because they're in fear or in denial. And these are two things you cannot take forward. If you take fear and denial forward, you're going to make a mistake, plain and simple. Denial is a guaranteed mistake, and fear is going to camouflage itself for a while until it really smacks you in the face. And then you're going to be like, whoa, why didn't I take care of that sooner? Going through this episode, this pandemic, all of humanity is shuffling about, reorganizing priorities, and taking care of the things that maybe you've left untaken care of for way too long. I know so far in being a business owner, being a career coach, being an expert in this space, the women who we've worked with who are making decisions, who are finding their true power and their true strength, are progressing in life and in their careers and landing jobs that are just amazingly, amazingly, amazingly satisfying. It is happening. There are people landing jobs and doing great things. There are companies investing in growth. There are companies doing the forward thing. And yes, there's also companies that had no choice but to cut back on their operations, cut back on their people. And we're seeing what true leadership really needs to look like. All of the women who are in my Kick-Ass Leadership Academy are going to get a big dose of communication mastery and how to literally use words to affect how you can be a leader. It's really important. There has never been a time ever where communication is more important than it is now. Never, ever. I mean, think about it. From the content of what's going on with the pandemic and whether your town or county or state is coming back into business and whether your business is doing certain things, communication has never been more important. And yet, tapping into the wrong communication can really make you feel crappy, bring your vibration way the heck down. I personally am not a great consumer of news and all of the drama in the headlines. I consume my news as I want to consume it. The Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and some other publications. And so here's the thing. It's the biggest evaluation time of your life ever without you personally maybe getting hit. But some of you may have. Some of you may have had this COVID-19 virus and have been sickened by it. I personally feel blessed that I don't know anyone personally who has. And I know that there have been plenty of people who have succumbed to it. And no matter what we face in humanity, there will be people who are victims of the circumstances. There will be people who die and who are left behind. It's always the way it goes when we move through something as human beings living on this planet Earth. So it's time to really consider, what is this for you? What is this for you? And now may be the best time ever for you to really contemplate and consider your life and your career and how you want to put that back together again. Whether you're an actual victim of being furloughed or laid off or not. If you're one of my clients, and let's say you've graduated like a few of our ladies have, you get to go right back into all of the beautiful lessons. And as a matter of fact, they've all been updated. So go back in there and see all kinds of stuff that you didn't even know maybe existed. And you have all the resources you need to put things back in alignment for yourself and get back to those things that we helped coach you to be an expert on for yourself. Get back into that. You have that resource forever because you were empowered months ago, years ago, to take that step to say, yes, I need to learn how to do things that I never did before. That's what this pandemic is holding us all to be accountable for. Taking responsibility for our life path, our career path now. If you didn't take care of it before, now is the time. And as I heard all my family members last night talk about what their inner growth has been during this time over the last couple of months, well, we really haven't seen each other as often. We haven't spent time. We had some intimate time last night sharing what's important and what we've learned. And everyone was basically saying more insight on how important family is and more insight into what they want to do for work and how they want to be in the world. And that is an absolute must do as a human being on this planet right now. You know, there's a thought leader who I follow and I really enjoy. And I was reading an article about him over the weekend, and I wanted to run by his career. In 1999, he left a company. He had been there for 18 years and spent 1 year at a company. Then he spent 8 years at the next company. Then 1 year. Then 4. Then he spent the past 5+ years at his existing company. And some people would say to me, Mo, it sounds like he job hopped. You know what? His title was about the same for those last 3 or 4 jobs. What he did was progress himself. He progressed himself tier by tier, either by the company or the opportunity or his growth. He progressed himself. Your career is about your progression of a valuable contributor as a professional person on this planet who knows how to do things and be a certain way in order to make a contribution to an organization, in order to receive compensation back for a job well done. It is up to you to progress that. It is up to you only. Only you. Don't be waiting around for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, heard about that great work you did over there. And you know what? If that does happen in your career, bravo. But it's up to you to make those steps and to mark your trail. And if you haven't learned anything from this pandemic more clear as this, it is up to you to craft the life that you want, that fits you, that serves you, and that brings you forward. And that means the best and biggest contribution in an organization, because you have skills and talents. You don't want to leave that on the table. You have earning power. Don't leave that on the table because someone else is going to make that money. It better be you. You've got a future and a family and fun to have while you're in your years. Don't park your earning. Don't park it for another day. Don't rationalize that you're doing good enough, because what is good enough? What if your son or daughter came to you and said, hey, Mom, I'm doing good enough? Oh, okay, great. Wouldn't you want to say, oh, but gee, you could do a little bit better and you could really enjoy your life if you kind of did a little bit of this? Good enough is the absolute worst place to be in life, because then you miss out on your greatness. This pressure cooker that we are now in, that is impinging upon all of us human beings, has brought to light the things that aren't working. And if your career has been stalled out or stale, and you just didn't pay attention to it because it wasn't as big a problem as maybe you needed it to be to fix it, and since you haven't been traveling and you haven't been going places and you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off, taking kids every which way in there, you've been able to take a breath and really realize what's important to you. Having a successful career does not impact, does not need to take away from families. As a matter of fact, it can give so much to the family. Your earning power, the amount of money that you are able to put away for savings is now being reevaluated, isn't it? How much money do I need to have as a safety net is being taken a look at now, isn't it? All of these things that drive who we are and what we want to be going forward have been affected by the pandemic. And your career must be intentionally yours, not someone else's. And no one else is going to take care of it. No one is going to take care of your career. It's up to you. So as you've sorted through and see the layers of your life and see the things that are more valuable than others, I will tell you this, there's nothing better than watching a woman come into her power and see who she truly is and own that beautiful, amazing, shining version of her. And then to march into the next layer of your career with that version of you. It's so good. It's so good. We had one of our ladies this past Friday. She's off some meds. I can't guarantee that for everyone. But what I know to be true is that she totally leaned into who she is at a soul level, brought that back to life. And not only is her body healthier, she's lost weight. She feels better on the inside. She's reached out to one of her big iconic people and had a powerful conversation. She has the exact career strategy and roadmap and knows exactly where she's headed in her career. She's had powerful conversations and she's allowed herself to feel the love that she has for her boyfriend. She's allowing herself to feel things that she hasn't felt. That's powerful. And that's going to guarantee her an amazing, beautiful life, career. And she's going to feel that she knows exactly how to do everything she needs to be the best version of her. That's how the pandemic can affect you. That's how it can affect you. Now, granted, she came into our 12-week workshop before this whole pandemic thing. But you know what? As she and all the other beautiful women who've been in the workshop these months, they've been able to navigate life in a way that perhaps they've never been able to do. Thank you very much. Best investment ever made, lifetime returns. Thank you, and indeed. Absolutely. Kathy Lesser, golden opportunity, totally rocking it. Totally know and own your path. Because with the right tools, you can handle anything that life has to throw. And in the workshop, we help our ladies not only bring their soul back to life, but craft their career, weaving that in so that they're the most powerful version of themselves. Some of our ladies said they have not even ever interviewed as freely and as powerfully. They don't even know really who was speaking in their interviews, but we've helped them tune into their power in such a way that they're freer in expression, happier in who they are, and more powerful. And when you're walking this planet, being a powerful version of you, when you're walking this planet, yes, marriages too. Thank you, Kathy. I know we do fix marriages. We fix parenting issues. We fix weight issues. I mean, you name it. The portal is the same, and that's your soul. So when we help you weave your soul back into your career, you are now the most powerful, beautiful, gorgeous version of you that you could ever imagine. And in 12 weeks, we absolutely have you fall in love with yourself. And that version of you can take you a very far way in a very beautiful wonderland of life. And you'd be maybe like me and maybe like hundreds of other kick-ass women. Yep, there's something going on in this world, but I know exactly who I am and exactly what is important to me and exactly what I'm doing in the world. That's so freeing. That's so uplifting. It's so empowering. And I get the opportunity to talk to women who are on that journey every single week. At that point, I get to talk to women who've been working with me for years and their lives aren't even really recognizable anymore. How they live from their center, from their sense of self is a beautiful thing. And this pandemic is going to push you back to that or it's going to take you out. So when you allow it to push you back into who you are and gain the expertise and the coaching to help you navigate the next version of you, so lovely, so beautiful, that you. So this is what we got going on. Thank you so much, ladies, for all of your beautiful comments. Nicole, I mean, you know, do we need to speak anything more? Lori, it's nice to see you. You have to put faith over fear. Absolutely, Lori. And you know exactly how to do that. And it's a daily practice. You have got to keep tapping into, there's Kathy's comment. You got to keep tapping into that divine nature of who you are. And that is the true guide. But if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to use that inner guidance system, you're going to be feeling like this. Then you know what you're going to do? You're going to shut it down because you don't understand it. Inner guidance system, that divine, does not speak the English language. It doesn't. It speaks a language that only your soul knows. And that's an important piece. So as this pandemic continues on and gets to affect your world in a way that we still can't predict, the most predictable and certain path is to own who you are and know who you are and take your life and career in your own hands and guide and direct it. We've got the expertise, we've got the experience, and a proven formula that's going to take you there. We enjoy what we do. We love it. Kimberly. Yeah. Yes. And Kimberly, you just upgraded big time. I saw one of your Facebook posts. Congratulations on having a beautiful partner that looks like is just totally helping your soul and your heart sing. Really love that. And thank you for the Mother's Day blessings. I really appreciate that as well. Thank you, Hazer. Always love this. So here's the thing. I'm going to be back at you tomorrow morning and the next morning and the next morning all week because I'm so passionate about now is the time. And you know what? The world is going to be flowing so quickly, so fast. Decisions are going to have to be made, and you're going to have to be ready to claim what is right and true for you. And if you're not ready for this, you will be left behind. I don't want anyone to be left behind, but it's going to happen. There will be people left behind. There will be people who don't make it, career-wise, life-wise, etc. That's going to be part of this. Breaks my heart, but it's part of any massive human experience we've had. I mean, the plague back in the 1300s and 1400s, the Civil War, the 1918 flu, I think 50 million people died in that. There's always going to be a challenge that comes our way as human beings. Who you are and how you are in that challenge is the thing that's going to define your life. And when you're lying, clutching your loved one's hands as you're taking your last breath, what do you want it to be remembered as? How do you want to tell the tale? I know you've been thinking about that because this time in humanity has caused us all to think about that. And let it be great. Let the story of your life be great and awesome and brilliant and shiny. Let your life be an inspiration to the family members around you. Let your light shine so brightly that they say, oh, I want to do what Kelly's doing, or Kathy, or Loretta, or Lori. I want to shine like her. Let your life be the inspiration because of who you have claimed you are and who you have claimed to be. Let that be your legacy. And surely your career will soar as well. And we'll teach you and coach you how to make it all come together and how to make it happen. Book your complimentary career clarity call. We are rocking and rolling with those calls over the last couple of weeks. Lots going on. Lots of lives being saved. And if your time is now, which I believe that it is, let's get it going for you as well. Make this a fantastic time of growth and personal development and you coming into your own. Hey, I know it's been fun watching Netflix and Hulu episodes and doing all of that, but if that's all that you've got after this, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to have regrets. Make this your time to put your life in the shape and in the order and the strength that you really want it to be. If you're one of my grads, rock on, and you've got everything you need in those modules. If you have not worked with me, you may want to really deeply consider it, because your time is now. Your time is now. I'll see you all tomorrow morning, 8:30 Eastern on Facebook. It's Coach Mo, founder, creator of your Kick-Ass Career Workshop, the place where you can not only up-level your career, but your entire life as well. Like so many of these wonderful women have said, marriages, relationships, kids, your kids' relationships. Hey, Jean Martin, sounds like you got to book yourself a clarity call. I don't think we've worked together. Julie, glad to join you. All right, keep rocking on. And all of you wonderful women who have been my clients and are my clients and are in the sisterhood, let's keep rocking this planet, because the world is expecting you to be the most awesome version of you. Let's make it happen. Rock on. We'll see you tomorrow morning and every morning this week on Is the Pandemic Affecting Your Career? I'll have more answers and more inspiration as the week goes on. See you tomorrow. This is Coach Mo at mofall.com and everywhere on social media. Coach Mo.